Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with Whispers and Shouts by Randall. So we have normal 6x6 Sudoku rules, so in each row, each column, and each 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 1 to 6 exactly once each. We also have yin yang. So we're going to be shading some cells in the grid. So all of the shaded cells form a single continuous orthogonally connected set, and all unshaded cells also form a single continuous orthogonally connected set. So what does that mean? What are all these words meaning? So single meaning we can't have two different blobs of shaded that aren't connected to each other, right? We have one blob of connected shaded cells. So got to connect them somehow. Now, how do we connect them? Well, we have to connect them orthogonally. So orthogonally means sharing an edge as opposed to diagonally, right? You might consider these to be connected because they share a corner. They're diagonally connected, but that is not good enough for yin yang. You have to share an edge. You have to be able to follow edges through the entire shaded region. And then continuous, it's just to say, hey, the whole thing is one blob, right? So this is one blob of shaded cells. Additionally, no 2x2 may be fully shaded or unshaded. So this 2x2 here wouldn't be allowed. We got to eat into that. This 2x2 is not allowed. We got to eat into that. So this would be a single orthogonally connected region, but it doesn't have to be like a line. Like we can continue like something like that. But there's another reason this isn't allowed, which is that the unshaded cells have to do the same thing. And notice we have 3 blobs of unshaded cells, and also there's some 2x2s of unshaded cells. Now I'm going to use green to represent cells that are definitely unshaded, and then gray for ones that are shaded. It doesn't matter which one we pick, although I think circles and squares are going to tell us which way to do it. So this wouldn't work because green is violated. The shaded cells are fine, but the unshaded cells are not. So we gotta figure out how to make the blobs. That's why it's called yin yang. They kind of meld into each other, but they're all both fully connected to each other, or to themselves. I mean, all right. So that's yin yang. Digits in circles give the number of shaded cells in that region. So a digit in a circle, say this is 3, and a region is our box here. So it's the number of shaded cells in this box. So for example, we could shade these 3, and then these 3 would be unshaded within that box. All right. Squares give the number of unshaded cells in the region. And then also circles are always shaded and squares are always unshaded. And then the square is going to give the count of the unshaded. So if this was a 4, then we might have like 4 unshadeds and then 2 shaded. This is broken though, because these can't get out. But anyway, that is how those work. Adjacent digits along green lines differ by at least 3. So these are German whisper lines. So if this is a 2, because the adjacent digits on the line have to be have a difference of at least 3, we can't put a 1, 2, 3, or 4 on here because that difference would be less than 3. This is a difference of 2, difference of 1, difference of 0, difference of 1, right? So this has to be a 5 or a 6. 5 would be a difference of 3, which is fine. 6 would be a difference of 4. That's also fine. Digits on a line are fully shaded or unshaded, but the shading may be different for each line. So if this line is either fully shaded or this line is fully unshaded, we don't know which, and each line can make a different choice. All right, and that's it. Those are the rules. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself, and I'm going to get started right now. Right, I mean, the obvious thing to start with is to unshade all of the squares and to shade all the circles, and that'll also remind us which color we're using for those. Now, this is on a line, which has to be either fully shaded or unshaded. We know, so this is also, so we know to continue the shading there. Let's see. This cell here cannot be unshaded because then it's kind of stuck on its own. It's not going to connect to all the other unshaded. So this has to be shaded. Let's see. Anything else need to get out or anything like that? I'm not seeing it. Let's see. I kind of want to, I don't think I have to shade this one. All right. Okay. So for here, there actually is something that we can do. So there's kind of a hidden, there are two hidden extra rules to yin yang. I'll go over them. I'm only going to use one of them because I don't think the other one is needed for this puzzle probably, because it's kind of more of a global deduction. But there is one deduction that is very handy in yin yang, which is you cannot checkerboard. Now it's not directly in the rules that you can't checkerboard. This doesn't violate the rules, but it does, because now we can't connect both the shadeds and the unshadeds to themselves. If I try to connect these shadeds to each other, no matter how I do it, I'm going to isolate this little pocket here, or I'm going to isolate this pocket here. In this case, I would have to isolate this one, but if you imagine a checkerboard anywhere else, not against a wall like that. But if I try to connect the shadeds to each other, no matter how I do it, I'm going to create a little pocket of unconnected unshadeds. And so this just doesn't work. You cannot checkerboard. You're always going to run into an issue of connectivity. And so this has to be gray to avoid checkerboarding. I don't know how much that helps. Oh, okay. So we know these numbers then. So this is a 5 because there's 5 shadeds in the region. This is a 1 because there's 1 unshaded itself. 5 needs to go down to either 1 or 2, but 1 is used. So this has to be a 2. And then 2, in order to be 3 different, needs to go up to 5 or 6, but it can't be a 5. So this is a 6. And that leaves a 3-4 pair here. All right, so this can't be 2, 3, or 4. So it's either 1, 5, or 6. Now, 6 is not possible because it would mean the entire thing is unshaded, and we've definitely created 2x2s. Oops, I meant to undo. All right, and so this is not a 6. In fact, we can never put a 6 in a circle or a square. 5 we just saw is possible. We'd have to do exactly this if we want to do 5. I don't see like an immediate reason that would be a problem. And then 1 is not possible. It would shade all of these. These would be shaded, and then that would be a 2x2. So this actually has to be a 5. And now why can't we do this 5, right? Well, because then this is a shaded cell that's isolated from all the other shadeds. So we have to do this. There's no other way to avoid the 2x2, right? We need to have this 2x2 and this 2x2 both interrupted. And we only have one cell to do it. So it's got to be in the middle here. So it's either this cell shaded or this cell shaded. And this doesn't work because it isolates. So this is the shaded cell, which finishes this line. And these are all unshaded. Now this unshaded glob, oh, by the way, we can't checkerboard, so we can shade that right away. This unshaded blob needs to get out. It needs to connect to all the other ones. So it's going to continue here, here, and here. And then this line also tells us we have to continue there. This could be either. It depends on these counts, I guess. So this is either going to be 3 or 4, and this is either going to be 2 or 3. This 2x2 must have an unshaded there. And in fact, we still haven't gotten out. Even if we shade this one, right? We still haven't gotten out. We have to get out to here, and then we have to keep going and get out to here so that we connect to this guy. And so now they're all fully connected, so we don't necessarily have to. Now this blob here needs to get out. It's got to continue here, and then to here at the very least. We can't make a 2x2 here. So this whole blob is going to have to extend down into this area to prevent a 2x2 from happening. And so in order to do that, it is going to enter this cell, and that has interrupted the 2x2 all by itself. So the rest of this could be shaded as long as this can be a 5. So we know the answer to some of these questions. This is a 3. We don't know the answer to this one yet. Okay, I guess that's the only one that got answered. This is 4, 5, 6. This circle could be anywhere from 3 to 5. 3, 4, or 5. This glob here, actually, it is not connected yet to this glob. And now there's only one way to do it, is to connect here and here. Okay, and so this is actually a 5. That places the 5 here. And so now this is 1 or 2. Now from 1, 2, we need to add at least 3. So we're going to end up in the 4, 5, 6 range, but it's not a 5. Okay. This is a 4, 6 pair. So we're down to 1. Okay, so where's 5? 5 actually needs to be in this row somewhere. And it's placed here. Which means nothing. I thought it meant something. Oh, we know the answer to this one. Sorry, this is a 3. That makes this 2, which means this has to be unshaded. Okay, so we finished the shading. That's our 1. So this can still be a 4. Oh, but this is a 4. So no, it can't be. That's 6. That's 6. That's 4. Okay. We have some German whispers left, but otherwise I think we're Sudoku. So these two digits are the 1 and 3. This 3 tells us the order. And next to 3, you can only put 6. It's the only digit that can go next to 3 on a German whisper. I'll leave that as an exercise to you to figure out why. It's not hard. We need 2, 3, 4 here. Oh, this can't be the 3. So the 3 is placed here. That's our 4. This is a 1, 6. The 6 tells us the order, 1 and 6. These two digits are done as well. We need the 2 and we need the 3. All right. 3 is celebrating being in the corner there. We need a 1, 6. That 6 says that's 1, that's 6. 2, 3, 4 here. 2 and 3, that places the 4. That only 1 can be next to 4. And then this just finishes the column with the 5. We need a 2 and a 3. So that's our 2, that's our 3, because of that 3 down there. And then we need 2 and 4. So that's 4, 2, 4, 2, and we're done. Cool puzzle, Randall. Yin Yangs are not easy to set. Trust me, I've set one before, and it was very difficult. You kind of, I mean, if I had to give any advice to anyone trying to set a Yin Yang, start with a valid shading grid and work backwards from there. You're going to run yourself into all sorts of corners. You know what? I never explained the fifth hidden rule, or the second hidden rule, but the fifth rule of Yin Yang, right? There's 3 rules. Shaders are fully connected. Unshaded is fully connected. No 2x2s. The fourth rule, which is hidden, is no checkerboard. The fifth rule is about the border. Notice how we have a continuous set of shadeds and then a continuous set of unshadeds. That is always going to be true in Yin Yang. You cannot interrupt this. Like, we can't make this one shaded, right, on its own, because look what's happened. This glob here is no longer connected to this glob here. You're gonna end up, notice now when I did this, you're gonna end up somehow going from the left side to the right side, right? You're gonna connect across the grid, and that's going to prevent the shadeds in this case from connecting to each other across that bridge. Like, you've created a bridge from one edge to the other that doesn't follow the edge, right? So you've created a bridge from one end to the other, either from here to here or here to here, or here to here, however you're doing it. You've created this bridge from the 2 unconnected ones based on the border. And you've also created a similar bridge that's necessary between the other color. And so one of them is going to lose out, similar to the checkerboard rule, and be disconnected. So you can't do that. So if you, for example, know that this is shaded and this is unshaded, then you know the shadeds are going to wrap around this way and the unshadeds are going to wrap around this way, and they're going to meet somewhere. Could even be like meeting right here, where the unshadeds do all of that, or the shadeds do all of that, and you have one unshaded. That's okay. You can also shade the entire border or unshade the entire border. All right. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, then why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.